My third and final speech is from Shreyas Govardhan, and even though he's actually given a speech, you may remember vocal, or what was it, the power pose. This is actually going to be his icebreaker tonight. We're going to learn a little bit about Shreyas and how he got here and what shaped his life, and I think he's going to shape it around two stories specifically. So please help me welcome his official icebreaker, Mr. Shreyas Govardhan.
Hello, Toastmasters. Today, I'm here to tell you about two stories. The first story I want to say is about how I got here at this moment, right now, speaking to you guys at Toastmasters. Well, it all started one evening on our front porch, and Aaron and I were drinking beer, and the salesperson inside him started talking about Toastmasters and how great it is to everyone to join Toastmasters, and how each and every one of us could improve his skills, and how what each clubs are doing over here in Little Rock. And he was talking about the different roles you can play as an officer, and maybe one day hit the international stage. And I was genuinely interested in this, and I was listening to him. And I told him, alcohol played a role in it, but anyway. I was genuinely curious, and I told him, well, you say this with so much passion, and he is, and I have to tell you, he is one of the most passionate persons about soccer, his girlfriend, job, and Toastmasters. So I told him, you know, if you really put all this effort and act and do what you're actually saying, which he does, I told him one day he could be the president of the club. Little did I know he was already the president of the club. And that brings me to my second story. The second story I want to share with you happened maybe late 80s, early 90s. I was a little boy. And I can remember I was in my grandmom's house, and we all, in our family, we have a pretty big family back in India. We all gathered, and we were having a nice Sunday afternoon. And this was a period where internet was fairly new, and the print media still ruled the roost. And I can still recollect that one glimpse when my aunt picked up the local newspaper, and the newspaper had published this article about this kid in Japan, in Europe, US, somewhere, I don't remember now, about this little kid, probably our age back then, trying to manage time, and he went to school, came back, did his homework, went to piano classes, played soccer, and XYZ. And all these activities was his daily routine. He did this every single day. And the newspaper praised him about his time management for this little kid who could manage his time so well and do it every single day as a routine. And my aunt read out this and turned to her son, my cousin, and told him, you see, these guys are doing so much, and you know, parents being parents started to compare him with this kid. And my cousin's a smart kid. He's very successful now. He lives in California, works for one of the biggest names in the Silicon Valley. And the signs of his smartness showed so early on, without, in an instant, he replied to his mother and said, it's not all about time management, you know, it's about the opportunity, the resources, and the interest you have in doing something. And I think that made so much sense at that point, and it still does. That answer given by him as a little kid, it still quizzes me, and I just happened to celebrate my birthday last Monday. I'm 28 years old, and I had the opportunity to look back and revisit this answer in the question. If I had the time and if all of us, any of us, if we had the time and resource to do things, would we really do whatever we wanted to do? Or would we just be hung up in a routine called life and try to live it as it comes? Or would you make things happen and actually live your life? And I think, looking at my life, I think I've fairly lived a decent life, and I think I still have the fire in me of doing what I wanted to do when I was a kid. And I can justify this by looking back myself for the past few years and mostly my life. And I have a set of PowerPoints just to justify myself if I'm actually living my life or not. So the first one, I bike a lot. And some of you over here already know that. And if you want to ever go ride around the Big Dam Bridge, give me a call. That's me again. I love kayaking. I love water sports. I love to go kayak whenever. I think Arkansas is one of the better places to do that. This summer we had a bad summer, so we couldn't really. The drought took a toll on this sport, but it is one of my interests to go kayaking. Sometimes I take Carson. I jump off trees and land on the neck, as shown there. Hunting. That's one of the newer hobbies I picked up after coming to Arkansas. And I have to tell you, I enjoy it. I've never fired a gun in my life before. The adrenaline rush when you see a deer walking by or pulling the trigger at a target, I enjoyed it. And it's become a part of my life now. Scuba diving. This is something I truly enjoy doing. I'm a certified scuba diver. I've done many advanced courses. I'm working towards being a master diver. And this was actually one of the deep sea dives I did. We saw some hammerhead sharks, and it's an honor to see such beautiful creatures swimming like 15 feet from you. And it's like you'll never forget the experience for the rest of your life. Rock climbing. This is again done in Arkansas, and one of the recent hobbies I picked up. If you haven't tried it, do it. It's fun to go in between the gap of two rocks and climb your way up. Walking on ropes. What can I say? I am that crazy. That was whitewater rafting we actually did in Chattanooga. Again, the adrenaline rush, amazing. It's one of those things, you have to do it. Horse riding with Yosemite Sam. This guy was a true cowboy. He had his pinky missing. And he took his eye for a nice ride. And it was one of those things. Nice fall evening, went out on a horse ride. It's beautiful. Jump off the plane. This was on my bucket list for a long time, and I had the opportunity to do it. So there I was flying in the air, falling off in the air like a bird. And this is also one of those moments, just like skydiving, those glimpses you'll never forget for the rest of your life. Just look at that, the sun on the horizon, and you're free falling down in the air. I mean, it's an experience. I think if you have the opportunity, you should do it. Caving. This is again Arkansas, great place to live in. Did some caving, explored some caves, and this was actually at the Brancher Springs cabin, and it was called a wild tour, where there's no tour or path where you could walk down, but this was like actually you wear lights on your head and wear a helmet and walk down, deep down in the cave. Well, rock climbing, wall climbing, one of the many crazy things I did. Ziplining. Did you know Arkansas has one of the highest ziplining companies in the state? There's more than a few options you could go try out and zipline. Then photography. When I was in college, I had the opportunity to work with a professional photographer, and I picked up a few skills here and there, and I do take some pictures. And, if you want to visit my work, you can go to www.shreyasgovardhan.com. Some of the pictures I've taken is up there. My graduation, that's my parents, my sister, and that's my nephew. My family has done a lot to me, and they mean a lot to me, and I can only be grateful to all the help and support they've given me. That was my graduation day, and graduated from engineering and computer science. It's wonderful. All right, motorcycles. I know a lot of people over here might have ridden a motorcycle. If you haven't, if chance, especially ladies, if you want to ride pillion, the wind in the air, blowing off your hair. I don't have much remaining, but if you guys have, a lot of you have, but the wind in the air and pushing your hair up, it's just an experience you have to do. Spearfishing. This was in Greaseberry. Just like hunting, it's one of those things. I just happened to pick it up, and I've never fished in my life, and I've never still fished with a hook. I spearfished with a spear gun. That was so much better, and so much of a better experience to actually go down the water and bang, get a fish. All through my life, even back in India, I've always been active in sports, and this is one of the athletic events I've done, and that's a certificate. I used to play baseball back in India. I also happened to attend the selection trials for the Indian baseball team. I didn't make it, but I almost went up there. Go-karting. This was my stepping stone to become a Formula One driver. And the closest I ever got was there. I was a spectator. I watched the US Grand Prix last month in Austin, Texas. And that's my favorite Formula One team, Force India. And sometimes I just be crazy. I don't have to do anything. I am really that crazy. Not always, sometimes, because I think it's important for us to let loose and just be yourself, not conduct yourself in the way other people want you to, but let loose, be yourself. I mean, like in this picture, who would be crazy enough to wear afro wig, wear a pink scarf on your shoes, or cowboy boots? It was one of those days, I was just myself. And that doesn't happen very often. So, you guys are lucky to be seeing this. And I'm Shreyas, and this is my story.